I was told that this film was undistributable.
Why brutalist architecture specifically?
Brutalist architecture is something that is quite confrontational. Brutalism's commitment to minimalism and maximalism is something that we really identify with in terms of our ambitions for our films.
Feels like a movie of another time, characters from another time, and architecture that's endured from this time. And
there isn't many movies about architects, and even fewer that have gained such critical acclaim. With 3 Golden Globes already under its belt, a 94% on Rotten Tomato, and Adrien Brody giving an award-winning performance. This film is set to take the cinematic world by storm. The Brutalist tells the story of Laszlo, a Hungarian architect who survives the Holocaust and escapes post-war Europe in search for a new life in America. It's a tale of survival, creativity, and identity. However, to truly understand the Brutalist, you must first understand Brutalism itself. Brutalism emerged in the post-war eras as cities across the world faced the urgent need to rebuild quickly and efficiently. It's a design philosophy that's rooted in the context of destruction and change. Brutalist buildings often use concrete, celebrating its rugged textures and honest form. What you see is very much what you get. There's no ornamentation, no decoration, it's simply the skeleton of what a building is. And lots of people hated it.
Concrete, it's not very attractive.
But fortunately, the building's aesthetic is not yours to resolve, Mr. Woodrow.
Brutalism was very different from anything people had seen before, making it one of the most polarizing design movements in history. In 1987, Prince Charles even described Brutalism as a monstrous boil on the face of a much-loved friend. For decades, these buildings were villainized, seen as cold, impersonal, and even dystopian. Famous brutalist Erno Goldfinger, who, like the lead in this film, was a Hungarian-born Jewish architect, even had a James Bond villain named after him. The Bond creator Ian Fleming took such a strong distaste to brutalism, which led to the creation of the antagonist Auric Goldfinger.
Goldfinger! Also starring Gert Frober as Goldfinger, international cheat, international menace.
Goldfinger, I made a delivery. Where is my money?
I think you've made your point, Goldfinger. Thank you for the demonstration. Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to.
Brutalism's stark, confrontational aesthetic is the perfect metaphor for the film's lead, Laszlo. Both brutalism and the character embody resilience, adaptation, and survival, in the same way that brutalism had to adapt to the needs of a post-war world. Laszlo must also adapt to a new country and start over. And like the brutalist movement, refugees like Laszlo can often be faced with criticism and judgment before truly being understood. The Brutalist isn't a film about architecture. It's a story about resilience and the misunderstood beauty of starting anew. Brutalism perfectly demonstrates how our opinions and tastes evolve over time. Once condemned, brutalist buildings are now celebrated and seen as iconic for their era. Every form of design goes in these cycles of reappreciation. What was once shunned will likely be shunned again, only to be rediscovered and reappreciated in the future. But isn't that the amazing thing about design? That we look back on what we once did not like and try to find beauty in it now. And those designs reflect who people were and who they are now, and potentially give us glimpses into who we will become in the future.
I love that it is forward-looking, and I think that was really important after the Second World War, and in art, also in painting and architecture. So I think art needs to move forward and not look back, and I think the Brutalist is a really great example of that. But that's one of the things I love about Brutalist.